disgusting things he did about Charlie Kirk. But at the same time, he's accountable to his employers. And that's where it gets interesting. And I know that you've got insight into how this went down. What I didn't like, Bill, in the process was the FCC chair, a pro-Trump political appointee, Brendan Carr, publicly kind of threatening, almost like a mafia don, kind of threatening we can do it the easy way or the hard way, because that looks like government interference in a private company like ABC, Disney, making a decision based on perhaps other commercial imperatives. What did you feel about that part of it? Because it's that part of it that I think most journalists are concerned about.
Well, if I were Mr. Carr, I would not have made the statement, but he has the power to do so. So the three networks, and people around the world don't understand that, the three networks use what they call the public airways. Therefore, there are government regulations on them that they must operate within the public interest. That is the headline. So ABC, NBC, CBS have to operate within the public interest. That's subjective. But Carr has the right to go in and investigate anything that he believes is not in the public interest. And I'll submit this to you. There's almost a total blackout in the United States for non-liberal voices on the network news. Did you know that, Piers?
Yeah, no, it's obvious. Yeah,
it's been in place ever since Donald Trump got into the political arena. I'm the best-selling nonfiction author in the world. As you know, anybody putting me on TV gets higher ratings. People want to, what that crazy O'Reilly is going to say today. I can't get booked on the Today Show or Good Morning America or any of the late night shows. Why? Because I'm not a liberal. Jimmy Kimmel didn't book one liberal in 3 years.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So the FCC, and there's no denying that the Trump administration despises people who it deems have treated Donald Trump unfairly. There's no denying that. But the FCC says, hold it. Is this in the public interest? Where you have the three networks blacking out, excluding every voice that isn't non-liberal, that isn't a liberal voice. You can't plug a movie, a book, a recording. You can't have a dialogue. Now, I used to be on Kimmel and Letterman and Leno all the time. Because the ratings were so good, and The View all the time. But that changed, and the corporations, they were fine with it. Disney led the league in it. So you're telling me that that's not an attack on freedom of speech? So these 400 movie stars, TV stars, oh, Jimmy Kimmel, oh, well, what about the blackout? And I'm not a what about guy. I'm not. That's ridiculous. You gotta keep it into what you're talking about here. But there wasn't a word from the left because the left benefited from this. And that was the biggest assault on freedom of speech I've ever seen in my lifetime. Now, for Kimmel, the reason he got taken off the air, and this is, again, people who don't live in the United States, the stations in states like Utah and Idaho and Mississippi and Alabama are getting crushed by their viewership. Saying, why are you running this guy every night hating Trump? Every night, why are you doing that? So the stations themselves are under pressure from their audience, not in San Francisco or LA or New York. And that's why that happened. And then Kimmel hit the turning point. Now, I always got along well with Jim. And I, to this day, don't know why he said what he said in the wake of the Kirk assassination.